Have you ever wondered what happens when two of boxing's most elite fighters finally step into the ring together after months of speculation, negotiations, and unexpected twists? The boxing world has been buzzing with anticipation as Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, two of the most accomplished fighters in the sport, prepare for what could be one of the biggest fights of the decade. Speculation surrounding this fight has been swirling for quite some time, with fans and analysts closely following every move made by both camps. Initially, Canelo appeared to be dismissing the idea of a fight with Crawford, stating that he was focusing on his family and had no immediate plans for another boxing match. However, as discussions continued behind the scenes, it became clear that a showdown between these two titans was more than just a rumor. It was becoming a reality. Reports first emerged that Canelo and Crawford were in direct communication, bypassing the usual middlemen to discuss terms themselves. Canelo, known for his sharp business acumen, made it clear that he never says no to business if it makes sense for him. This willingness to engage in negotiations sparked excitement among fans, who had been waiting for confirmation of what could be one of the most significant bouts in recent history. Fast forward to January 2025, and the official announcement was made: Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford would face each other in a super middleweight bout scheduled for September 2025 at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. The news sent shockwaves through the boxing community, with experts analyzing every possible outcome and fans debating who would emerge victorious. Canelo, the undisputed super middleweight champion, boasts an impressive record of 62 wins, with 39 coming by knockout. His dominance in the division has been undeniable, making him a formidable opponent for anyone who dares to challenge him. On the other hand, Terence "Bud" Crawford, the reigning undisputed welterweight champion, holds an unblemished record of 41 wins and 31 knockouts. Moving up to the super middleweight division presents a new challenge for Crawford, but his speed, precision, and adaptability have made him a force to be reckoned with. Just when fans thought everything was set in stone, chaos erupted. Reports surfaced that Canelo had signed a 4-fight deal with Riyadh Season, raising questions about the future of the bout with Crawford. Conflicting stories began to emerge. Some claimed the fight was still on, while others insisted it was off. The uncertainty left fans frustrated and eager for clarity. In the midst of this turmoil, another unexpected twist occurred. Rumors began circulating that Canelo was considering a fight with YouTuber-turned-boxer Jake Paul. The mere suggestion of such a matchup sparked outrage among boxing purists, who viewed it as a step down for Canelo. Jake Paul himself fueled the controversy by publicly calling out Canelo, accusing him of prioritizing financial gain over challenging fights. He claimed that Canelo was avoiding real competition, including Terence Crawford, in favor of lucrative but less demanding matchups. Paul didn't stop there. He leaked what he claimed was a signed contract between him and Canelo, proving that their fight was more than just talk. The document showed both of their signatures, adding fuel to the fire. According to Paul, Canelo's daughter had even expressed excitement about the fight, further emphasizing its mainstream appeal. Despite the noise surrounding a potential Canelo-Paul fight, it ultimately fell apart, with reports confirming that Canelo vs. Crawford was back on for September. Meanwhile, boxing analysts continued to dissect the upcoming clash between Canelo and Crawford. Sean Porter, a former world champion and boxing analyst, voiced concerns about how Crawford would handle Canelo's punching power. Given Canelo's reputation for delivering devastating blows, many questioned whether Crawford, who has never faced an opponent of Canelo's caliber at this weight, would be able to withstand the pressure. One major talking point has been the difference in weight classes. While Canelo has proven his ability to move up and dominate heavier divisions, Crawford is stepping into unfamiliar territory. Historically, fighters moving up in weight face significant challenges, as the increased power and physicality of their opponents can be overwhelming. Canelo has already experienced the challenges of moving up, having tested himself against light heavyweights and coming out victorious in some instances. However, critics point to his loss against Dimitri Bivol as evidence that even he has limits. Crawford, on the other hand, has demonstrated his ability to adapt across multiple weight classes, but super middleweight will be his toughest test yet. His speed and technical skills have been his greatest assets, but the question remains, will they be enough to counter Canelo's power and experience? Adding to the drama, the business side of boxing has played a significant role in shaping the narrative around this fight. With Saudi Arabia becoming an increasingly influential player in the sport, many believe that financial motivations have influenced decisions behind the scenes. Some insiders suggest that Canelo's deal with Riyadh season was a strategic move to secure future financial stability, even if it meant temporarily shelving the fight with Crawford. Despite the controversies and speculation, one thing is clear: when Canelo and Crawford finally step into the ring, the world will be watching. The stakes couldn't be higher. Canelo is defending his legacy as one of the greatest fighters of his generation, while Crawford is aiming to cement his status as a four-division world champion. The anticipation continues to build as both fighters prepare for the biggest fight of their careers. Training camps will be grueling, strategies will be meticulously planned, and mind games will be played. The road to September will be filled with twists and turns, but one thing is certain: this is a fight that will go down in history. Boxing fans are left with one burning question: who will emerge victorious when two of the best pound-for-pound fighters collide in the ring? The answer will come in September, and the world will be watching every second of this epic showdown. Can Terence Crawford truly defy the odds and conquer a naturally larger, more powerful Canelo Alvarez, or will the weight jump prove to be too much for even a fighter of his caliber? As boxing fans eagerly anticipate what could be one of the most intriguing fights in modern boxing, the conversation surrounding the potential bout between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford continues to grow. The discussions have been fueled by questions about Crawford's ability to handle the physical demands of moving up in weight and whether his skills can neutralize the size and power advantage Canelo holds. This fight is not just about two champions facing off, it's about the risk, legacy, and the challenge of transcending physical limitations in search of greatness. Mikey Garcia, a former four-division world champion, has shared his thoughts on this potential super middleweight clash. His perspective aligns with those who believe that once Crawford feels the weight of Canelo's punches, things will change drastically for him inside the ring. Garcia expressed concern about Crawford's ability to endure Canelo's power over the course of 12 rounds. While Crawford is undeniably an elite fighter with incredible skill, Garcia emphasized that weight classes exist for a reason. The difference in natural size and strength could play a crucial role in determining the outcome. One of the biggest challenges for Crawford is that he has only recently moved up to 154 pounds, facing struggles in adapting to the increased weight. Canelo, on the other hand, has been a dominant force at 168 pounds, proving his power against fighters who are naturally accustomed to that weight. Fighters like Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, and Callum Smith have all fallen victim to Canelo's relentless pressure and power. If Canelo starts fast and aims to break Crawford down early, it could spell trouble for the smaller fighter, who is still adjusting to competing in heavier divisions. Crawford's path to this potential fight is built on his remarkable achievements in the sport. He has dominated multiple weight classes, displaying a level of skill, intelligence, and adaptability that few can match. His dismantling of Errol Spence Jr. left no doubt about his abilities, but fighting Spence at 147 is a far different challenge than stepping into the ring with Canelo at 168. The question remains, can Crawford's skill level compensate for the drastic weight difference, or will Canelo's size prove too overwhelming? The conversation about this matchup has even drawn insights from respected boxing figures like Joel Diaz, Demetrius Andrade, and Robert Garcia. Diaz, while acknowledging Crawford's status as the best pound-for-pound fighter, believes that Canelo's unique skill set makes him a dangerous opponent. Andrade, on the other hand, is skeptical about the fight altogether. He argues that moving up multiple weight classes in such a short span is not an ideal path for Crawford. The physical demands of facing naturally bigger fighters may outweigh the potential rewards. He points out that Canelo is unlikely to move down in weight, meaning Crawford would need to meet him somewhere close to 168, a weight he has never come close to competing at. The issue of weight classes cannot be overlooked. Fighters typically train their bodies for years to compete at a certain weight. They adjust their conditioning, strength, and endurance to match their opposition. Crawford's dominance at 140 and 147 was due in large part to his ability to utilize his speed, precision, and superior ring IQ. But at 168, against someone as physically imposing as Canelo, those advantages may not be as effective. The higher weight class means heavier punches, stronger clinches, and an opponent who is naturally accustomed to handling that level of power. Demetrius Andrade emphasized that while Crawford is one of the most skilled fighters he has ever seen, there comes a point where size simply cannot be ignored. He referenced the fact that even at 154 pounds, Crawford faced some difficulty, which raises concerns about how he would handle an even bigger step up. Andrade went as far as saying he isn't even a fan of this fight because of the sheer disparity in size. While the fight would be a huge payday for both men and certainly an exciting spectacle, he questions whether it makes sense from a competitive standpoint. From a legacy perspective, a victory for Crawford would be historic. Moving up multiple weight classes and defeating a fighter of Canelo's caliber would cement his place among the greatest of all time. It would be an accomplishment that few in boxing history could rival. However, the risks associated with such a move cannot be ignored. Canelo has fought and beaten some of the best super middleweights in the world. He has proven his chin against powerful punchers and has shown that his own power can dismantle opponents. The idea of a naturally smaller fighter moving up and overcoming those odds is what makes this fight so compelling, but also what makes it so dangerous for Crawford. Robert Garcia, another respected voice in boxing, sees Canelo as the favorite in this potential fight. While he acknowledges Crawford's elite skill set, he believes the physical difference will be too much to overcome. According to Garcia, the first 6 to 8 rounds may be competitive, with Crawford utilizing his speed and boxing intelligence to navigate Canelo's power. However, as the fight progresses and Canelo begins to impose his size and strength, the tide could turn dramatically. One of the key factors in this matchup is Canelo's approach to the fight. If he chooses to start fast and break Crawford down early, it could be a difficult night for Crawford. However, if Canelo is more methodical and allows Crawford to find a rhythm, the fight could become far more interesting. Crawford is known for his ability to adjust mid-fight, a quality that has helped him dominate elite opponents. If he can find a way to outmaneuver Canelo and avoid sustained damage, he could potentially make it a competitive fight. The financial aspect of this bout is another major talking point. This would undoubtedly be one of the biggest fights in recent boxing history, generating immense revenue. For Crawford, this fight would not be about money, as he has stated he simply wants to test himself against the best. His desire to fight Canelo is driven by the challenge, by the opportunity to prove himself against the most accomplished fighter of his generation. While the money is a major factor in making the fight happen, Crawford's motivation appears to be rooted in his competitive spirit. Fans are split on the potential outcome of this fight. Some believe that Crawford's superior technical ability could allow him to outbox Canelo over 12 rounds, while others see Canelo's power and experience in the higher weight classes as too much to handle. The truth likely lies somewhere in between. While Crawford is undoubtedly a generational talent, moving up multiple weight classes and facing a fighter as dominant as Canelo is an entirely different challenge. It is a risk few fighters would be willing to take, which is why it is so intriguing to see Crawford considering it. Canelo, on the other hand, has nothing to prove. He has already cemented his status as one of the greats. He has fought the best in multiple weight classes and emerged victorious. A fight against Crawford would be another major payday and an opportunity to further solidify his dominance. However, if Crawford were to pull off the upset, it would shake the boxing world to its core. Ultimately, the debate surrounding this potential matchup will continue until an official fight is announced. The contrast in size, power, and experience at the weight class makes this a fascinating discussion. Can Crawford overcome the odds, or will Canelo's natural size advantage be the deciding factor? The only way to find out is if both men step into the ring. Until then, the speculation, analysis, and debates will rage on. What do you think? Can Crawford defy the odds, or will Canelo prove once again why he is one of the most dominant fighters in the sport? Share your thoughts and let the debate continue.